Hi, you guys. So, I'm doing a 30-minute session for Vicky. This is Journey Healing and Wisdom session. And the goals for the session are she would like to know what direction that she can take now on the wisdom side of things. And the healing side of things, she could use some help with severe knee pain. So, severe knee pain, and what direction do I take now? So, I'm going to go ahead and relax. This is exciting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and relax here. And Vicky, I'm going to enter into your spiritual atmosphere. I'm just talking to my spirit guides. I'm really feeling the circulation here about what you're requesting. Severe knee pain, and then what direction do I take? So it's kind of like two separate avenues, but they could be blended as well. But let's see what the highest wisdom in the energy work where it guides us. Everything's really quiet right now. Hmm. I just feel like I'm just slowing the frequency way down. I mean, in totality, I'm just slowing your entire frequency way down because there's something of the kind. I could go directly into your knee, but they're showing me that there's something I need to explore all that you are. So we're just gonna slow the frequency way down. And just continue to relax you, okay? Slowing your frequency down. This is gonna be some interesting images. I won't have a clue about what any of this means other than what the image is. So I'm still slowing your frequency down here. Allowing you to relax now. Something of, there's a water. It's not very deep. It's literally like an inch deep. But I'm so small that I'm like a bug in water, and so it's like up to my head kind of thing. But there's a rock here. I mean, there is a solid rock here that I keep looking at in what is a very small pool of water. And there's grasses growing as well. So I do feel like a little bug. I feel anger. I feel like a frictiony noise, and I feel that inside myself, and I also feel kind of shaky about it. And then every time I look at this rock, it's just like it's eating me alive, like it's eating into my brain, into my face. It's eating me alive. And like really just like I'm really angry about this. And I can't stop looking at this rock. What is this rock a reflection of? Your kneecap, your knee in general is something that is bothering you in your life. We don't know right now. All I know is this is actually the medicine that is healing the frequency that needs to be healed. So I'm just going to continue to look at this. I'm so mad. But I'm not large enough to actually pick the rock up and chuck it out of the way. I'm too small. So but I'm just so irritated by this specific rock right here. There's literally, on my human level, there's nothing weird about this scene. It's just like a little pond, tiny little pond with some grasses. There's a little bit of water just accumulated here. This like kind of a sandy material ground. There's just tall grasses, and there's just a rock right here. That's it. But as this little bitty insect consciousness, this rock is ruining my life. This rock is driving me insane. And I'm not big enough or strong enough to just lift it and get it out of this pool of water. You could imagine the pool of water for a little bug. It's like, I want this pool I want all this space. I don't want any rocks in my way. I just want to have the freedom to just stretch out, to enjoy this little pool of water and the sunlight that comes in. And it is actually really cute, it's a little pool. This rock is just very irritating. So there is an interaction here between me, a higher consciousness, and this bug version of all that you are. It's just a small part of yourself. The really loud thing going on here. I'm encouraging it to explore alternative ways of removing the pain and suffering, removing the upset, removing this rock. So, speaking to the bug here. Bug is not strong enough to lift the rock. Bug is trying to actually put the hands under the rock and lift, and it'd be like a human being trying to lift a bus or something. It's just too heavy. But this little bug wants to have the inner strength. It wants to have the extraordinary power to move this rock. It wants to find a way. And it's trying to find a way using the most basic technique. Like, our solution to solving problems, we're just going to be like human beings about it. We're not going to use energy work or spiritual. We're not going to do, it's sort of like when I think about the medical world, and I remember, like, I have alien lifetimes where we use like light and sound in order to heal people. We could regrow limbs. We could do all these extraordinary things. And we're still working with scalpels and knives and sewing kits and crap like this. And it's like a torture chamber. Like the medical world today is as advanced as an advanced torture chamber. It's like very disturbing to me, but I have to accept it. And so for some reason, like the psychology or the intelligence of the advancement of this little bug is to use the basic tools. I'm going to use my brute strength to try to lift it. I'm going to find a pulley system. I'm going to start building a pulley system to try to move it. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But I'm telling this part of the consciousness here, this little bug, that there's a way that you couldn't possibly imagine, but you can also imagine it. And it goes beyond science and logic and anything we've ever known. And it's frequencies. Because you are a frequency, the sand, the water, the air, the grasses, our dreams, our emotions, our pain and suffering, our voices, our organs, our blood, our brain tissues, and brain frequencies are all frequencies. Everything is physical matter, energy matter, radio waves. Like everything is a compilation of frequencies. So I'm telling this little bug that I'm ready to give you a massive energetic download about the power of frequencies and what creates frequencies and how we can use frequencies to actually evaporate the stone. And so now we're beyond brute strength and pulley systems and whatever is like considered advanced. We're working with frequencies, and we can just go push a button, frequency, it just annihilates what we don't need anymore. And it's actually positive in this scenario. So it's like, this is a good thing, because this rock is not serving a purpose to create beneficial joy and enlightenment, happiness. And so it needs to be, in this scenario, this rock needs disintegrated. It needs to evaporate. It needs to be transformed. So there's access to more, and access to peace of mind, and access to freedom. But the issue is we're wanting to create a technology that does it and push the button. But really, we need to go even beyond the physical and go into the spiritual, because then through the spiritual, then we can manifest frequency changes that alter the actual energetic DNA components that manifest everything in our universe. So you could call it atoms or whatever you want, but the frequency that reconstructs the even physical designs of things. And giving this version of yourself an energetic upgrade, energy download about how frequencies, we can remap the frequency, which is going to recreate the physical experience. There is resistance, there is confusion, there is this is over my head, I won't ever be able to accomplish this. That's kind of what's emanating back to me. I say, what if your purpose is to accomplish this? And now you're going against the grains of who you are. Maybe you have this knee problem because it's time for you to wake up to some alternative aspect of what you're capable of. A lot of the time we're told that we're not capable of healing ourselves. Only a doctor is capable of healing yourself. Only a psychologist is capable of helping you with your psychology. Like we're not told that we have power. We are not encouraged to discover the power within ourselves unless we go to school and read out of a textbook, and that's the only way. But we can go inside our souls. And within our souls, there is a vast library, trillions and trillions, bajillions, like infinite numbers of information, frequency-related information. And it's not beyond you. It is totally not beyond you. All right, so we're coming to a crossroads where the spirit realm is saying, so what are we telling Vicky right now? That she's capable of healing herself, and that it's time for her to go beyond anything. Like it's time for her to explore her soul's capacity, her soul's relationship with energy, her soul's relationship with frequencies. What are we telling Vicky right now? They're asking me what all of this means to me at this point. I'm saying, well, for one, this rock really feels like it's about her knee. For two, I actually am providing you with an energetic download. Whether energy downloads is not like the data going into our brains and we just understand it all because we're ridiculous, awesome computers and we just get it. No, energy download is having a developing awareness and connection with an enlightened perspective. And you're not going to have a freaking clue what it is, but it's going to open up within you. And as you continue to go through life, that opening within you is going to manifest attractions to experiences that are going to come back into your life. So as we change our frequency pattern, now new frequency patterns of alternative ideas and people and ways of being are going to be attracted to teaching us more about that frequency. But we have to transform ourselves in order to manifest that transformation into our life. So what we are is what we attract. And the more that we are self-loving, for instance, the more that we attract more self-loving experiences, more financial abundance, more etc. Like it gets awesomer and awesomer and awesomer the more that we love ourselves. There's something here that is really powerful and really special because it's not just about your knee is screaming at you, but it's teaching you about yourself and it's telling you about ... It's a mystery. And there's actual volumes upon volumes upon volumes of awesome soul-based wisdom related to the screaming knee issue. And you could find yourself through this if you want to. Or you could be like everybody else and just keep going to a doctor. Like a lot of people go to doctors. Like that's what we're told to do. But we never find ourselves through the ailment. You know, some of us do though. Some of us do go through ailments, and through the ailments we start to see things differently. We start to become aware of who we are, why this manifested in the first place. We become wise from it. So sometimes the ailment manifests the wisdom, and sometimes the ailment manifests a predicament that we just want it to go away and we don't want to work on ourselves. So ailments, again, it's like this is just a conversation for perspective here. And it's also about your soul journey and where you can go with this if you want to go there. But I'm also giving you an energy download, which tells me you want to go there. What is the energy? How am I doing it? How am I giving you an energy download? I am. It sounds like this. It's like it's emanating. Where's it coming from? How am I doing it? Am I thinking about it in order to create it? No, it's just it was chosen, it's received. My higher self is involved here, a bunch of spirits and etc. And you're just like receiving. You're receiving the frequency. So I, Abbey, have no freaking clue how this is happening, but I experience it that it is emanating and it is happening. And you are actually choosing to receive it. That's the other most important detail about this, because I can experience the energy download and you're afraid of it, or you're resisting it, or you don't want that. And then I have to go into, well, what is preventing you from wanting to receive this? But for you, you're just like, I'm ready to bask in this. I'm ready for change. I'm ready for new. I'm ready for something beyond anything I've ever known before. And so that's why it's happening, and that's why you're receiving it. Because the deepest part of your soul says, raises your hand and says, me, please. Please, I'm ready. Full of freaking wisdom here. It's totally full of just jam-packed full. It's gonna sound like air. Basically sounds like silence. You're not gonna have a clue what it means or what it's saying, but it's actually in your at the surface of your spiritual atmosphere, and it's going to attract information and people and new ways of being into your life that is going to teach you about yourself. And now you're going to discover that this ailment was actually a good thing. And the reason why it's screaming at you is the alarm clock is going off, saying that it is time for a new pathway or new journey to self-discovery. But they are not going to let me open that box of wisdom and just tell you what the answer is, because there's something about this one that is going to be discovered for yourself. All the while, we're still making progress on this rock, and I will say that I feel confident you'll be noticing an improvement on the way your knee feels. It's getting a lot easier, easier flowing here in this little pond, and the rock is there, but it's not as, we're not getting as mad at it. But it does seem to be growing bigger somehow, but it's not as bothersome. It's not even as, like, I don't even care to look at it like I did. And the less that I look at it, the more I look away from it and want to explore another view, another direction, another place even. The rock tries to get even bigger still because it wants all of my attention. It wants more of my attention. But then the less attention I give it, it just doesn't have any power. It starts to get really, really massive. And I'm looking entirely in the other direction and kind of ignoring it. And man, is it getting massive. Like, it's mad for you not taking care of it. Like, it needs you to, it wants to yell at you for one. And then when you ignore it, it's like rumbling inside itself and getting really big and wanting to it just really is mad at you. This knee thing is really mad at you. And you're ignoring it right now. At first it seems like it seems like it's doing a positive thing by exploring a different direction, but it's really just kind of ignoring a behavior even that's getting, it's not necessarily talking about behaviors though. It's just you choosing to not look at it. And now it's getting really big. You don't want to turn around and look at it because you don't want to see how bad it might be right now. Because you ignored it for a while and now you're about to look at it and you're worried that this rock, which was a big deal, and now it's a mountain of a deal, and that really bothers you. And you kind of just want to leave the pond and go somewhere else. You just want to kind of not be anywhere near this rock. And at first it was you frustrated with it and you sort of discovering a new way and then ignoring it, and then it got really, really big, and now you just want to like pretend it never happened. And you want to go somewhere else. This is not, I gotta get you to look at it again. I will say it's getting a lot better energetically. It's not as loud or as angry, as chaotic as it was. And as I'm like, all that is gone. But now it's just a silent but concerning bigger pig. The thing is getting bigger, but it's not as like sandpapery. It's not as frictiony, But there's still obviously an issue. I am standing here and I'm an enormous human being, and you're like this little big tiny bug. And this pool of water is so like so thin, is that like so not deep that it won't even get my shoes wet, you know? It's just like a pathetic little puddle. And then this rock is just like it's just a pathetic little rock, you know? But it's not to this bug. It's a big deal. It's a big problem. But to me, it's like, ah, you need me to move this? Sure. I'll get that out of there. So I'm smiling. I'm like a child actually as I bend down and I look inside this little water pool and I see a fight going on between an insect and a rock and I'm just watching it like a spectator. The insect is actually having a really aggressive conversation with this rock. And the rock is saying nothing back. It's just looking back at the bug because it's a rock, you know what I mean? Rocks just don't move, they don't talk, they don't do anything. It has been growing larger, but it's all an illusion. It was all really an illusion. Things are getting softer even still, more relaxed, even less aggressive, like super easy going, like super easy going. This is a very strange journey. It's like, what is this? How is this? Like, how do we connect the dots of any of this stuff? But let me just see here. So everything is getting a lot shallower even in this orb of experience. So it's like there's a large child here, like a giant, and a little bug and a rock, and the child's peering in. And this space with the bug and the rock and the water is starting to turn into an orb, and the child's sort of just like kind of disappearing, and then there's just this orb, but it's like everything is fading out. Like it doesn't have to be here anymore. It doesn't have to be solid. It doesn't have to have density. It can just relax until it's completely released. And it's just the frequency is still like slowing down your frequency. So we're still doing that, even still. It's funny. This is so funny. And we just continue to slow down the frequency. And it's still happening. I mean, it's still happening. And everything is relaxing so much. I still see the rock though and the bug, but it's all kind of faded out. Everything is way more relaxed. Man, in this state of relaxation, it's helping me to experience now, looking back, how loud your spiritual atmosphere was, how extremely loud, and now it's so quiet. Just a moment here. I'm trying to see if I can actually use my hand and take the rock out. And my spirit guides say, well, what about the bug? Maybe the bug needs to work on itself. If you remove the rock, then the bug doesn't have anything else to learn about as to why that rock was there in the first place, because that bug manifested that rock without even realizing it. So if you remove the rock, you just removed the manifestation, so they never actually learn anything. I say, so I just keep the rock here? I say, you need to go back into the scene and look at it more. I just take both the bug and the rock out of a sort of faded out space because I can still see them both and it's just sort of like a dark space. So I'm just taking them both out and then I'm just putting them over here in a totally new scene. Oddly enough, it's like a plate on a countertop that they're on. plate vanishes and they're sitting on the countertop. The countertop vanishes and now we're sitting back in like a little pond with grass, and the rock is still there and the bug is still looking at the rock. And everything looks exactly like it did originally, but so much calmer. The bug tells me I give up. There's no solution to this. And as much as I want to believe in your energy downloads, I don't feel that that is going to solve this problem either. I say, well, wait a second. You're chilled out. You're so relaxed. That's already a huge improvement from where you were when I got here. Bug says, wow, so maybe I just need to relax? I snap my fingers and I create what is like a really like a chair for sun tanning on, you know? And so it's got like parts where you could kick out for the legs, or you could kind of crease it there and then move the back up or down or whatever. So this bug is just like on a vacation in the pond now, and the rock is still there. The bug says, so I need to learn how to live with this rock? I say, let's just start by relaxing here first. I decide to create a chair as well for the rock to lay down on, just like the bug is. Like a chair to tan in, you know, when you lay out or whatever. So the rock is now in the same chair. The chairs have a green mesh to them. They're kind of fun and like neon green. And now the rock and the bug are both sitting in the pond and enjoying the rays of the sun together. The bug is sipping on a drink, and I manifest a drink for the rock too. The rock is starting to turn into an actual person. A really dense, heavy set man. He's not overweight, he's just very stocky. And he's older. Maybe 50s. He's starting to feel kind of bad. But he doesn't talk much. He's pretty quiet. The bug looks over at him. The bug is starting to turn into what is like a woman. She's also of the same age, and she's got rounded features. She's kind of cute and fat. There's something chubby and cute about her. There's something really adorable about her. And she even has a little, like a swim cap on. There's something plump and cute about her smile, even. I can't explain it, but if she were making an apple pie in the kitchen, I would love her to death. I don't know what. It's like, she's the perfect person for making apple pie. Like, there's something about her. I like her. And he's just kind of quiet, keeps to himself. He's like a rock, but he's a man. She decides to scoot her chair closer to him so they can hold hands. I see their bodies getting youthful and athletic, even. She's crying emotionally, not sad, but she's just having an emotional cry, like a sensitive moment. And he feels it as well. He actually feels it as well. He even gets a little teary in his eyes. He kind of gives a tight squeeze on her hand, and he looks at her and he smiles at her, and she looks and smiles back at him. And she says thank you to him. And in a way, he has like a quiet nod as he says thank you back in his own way. And I feel that these two souls now are just blending in a beautiful array of color, but peacefulness of frequency. Letting go. It's okay to merge. When these two frequencies work together, they're far more powerful. But when they are apart, they're like fighting cat and dog. Like, just one insists on being a stubborn rock, and the other one insists on trying to conquer this rock. Show this rock that I can. It's just that nothing ever works because they have to work together. They absolutely have to work together. Otherwise, it's going to always be a painful situation. Always. And in this case, they have to work together. There is no, well, I'm ready to move on from this relationship. I feel like it's a body harmony thing. But it could also be a reflection of a real human relationship. But there's something about me healing your knee through this as well. This little story. And your heart as well needs some energy work just to get it opening and energy flowing. Because I feel it flowing and it's starting to get a little bit weaker in the upper biceps. I feel just like a lot better, like energy flowing into my head in a really lovely way. And again, we're still, that slowing down the frequency is still a part, like it's been a part of this from the beginning. Even if I'm not saying it over and over again, it's still a part of this, is slowing down your frequency a lot. These two that have merged are concerned that they will fall apart again. But I'm encouraging them to work with frequency. Don't work with mind. You have to work with heart, and you have to work together. And when you choose to slow down, you can kind of get fitted back into each other again if things feel a little off balance. So I'm just programming whatever this is, how to work together. And they're still merged as one linking frequency, and it feels a lot better. Do you have like we have nerves in there? Like, is there, maybe there's something about, man, my spirit guides don't tell me you're not a medical doctor, Abbey. Don't even try to describe try and make sense of what this means. And so I have to use this story in order to heal the frequency. But they do look like a rubber band, is the only way I could describe it. A rubber band that is now functioning not separately but merged. It feels a lot better and everything's coming to a peaceful state again. My spirit guides are wanting to have you explore an idea. So when things, like if we get a physical ailment, we always focus on the ailment, but we never explore how the ailment is teaching us about ourselves. And if we were to go deeper than the surface of, I have this ailment makes me feel like this, and we just stay at that surface level, we'll never go beneath why it is there in the first place in order to actually heal it ourselves. And you have the power to heal it yourself, but you have to choose to go beneath the surface and explore why this is here for you to learn about yourself. Because some part of your amazing totality, because we're all masters, we're all gods, we're all creator beings, you've created these ailments in order to teach you something. And so we can either just look at it as the ailment, go to the doctor, get the medicine or whatever. But that's just putting a Band-Aid on a wound, you know? So we need to, if you can, obviously ailments aren't easy things to deal with. They aren't easy things at all. It's like trying to have a normal life when you're suffering from regular migraine headaches. It's just really, it's or anything that is just pain is very hard to live a normal life. But there's something about um, exploring what you're capable of and going deeper into asking why is this pain there, and what on an energy level. So I'm just going to tell you really quick here, Vicky. Whenever I get something weird, a weird twinge going on in my own life, I go journey into it, just like I'm doing here, and I see what is there, and then I allow it to be nurtured and released. And these pains can be associated with energy bodies, like our heart portal. That can be associated with our mental body. We're taking on too much stress, too much stuff, and now that's creating energy weight, and that energy weight now is creating like back pain or sciatica or who knows what. And so we need to go deeper into exploring why this is there. And so, for instance, like a psychic mentoring session would allow me to teach you how to do what I do. And then we could actually focus on this topic, and I can teach you how to go into it for you to see what is there yourself, and then to start doing the discovery, which is the energy download I just gave you, which is teaching you about how to work with frequency and how to heal yourself. So that is what that translates into. Obviously, it's for you to decide where you want to go with it. That's all I can tell you. This was a really unique experience. I will say you're going to be feeling a lot more relaxed because the way I slowed your frequency down, and as silent as your spiritual atmosphere is in comparison to where it was when I started, so much quieter, so much more peaceful and relaxed. And you're going to be feeling that physically too. You're going to be feeling a lot more physically relaxed, more peaceful. And I feel strongly that your knee is going to show signs of improvement and relaxation. So how do we avoid this happening again? Just continue to slow down. That's one thing I can tell you. Just slow down, meditate, relax more. Start doing yoga. That's one of the hard ones. My body tells me to do yoga all the time. I still don't do yoga. And I guarantee I'm going to regret that in 10, 15, 20 years. So I better start doing yoga, But I'm telling you, yoga is a powerful, powerful tool. And then I encourage anybody to do it. And I encourage myself to do it, even though I can't do it. So it's something I got to work on. You either choose to or you don't choose to. It's whatever you're ready for, All right, Vicky. Well, thank you so much for this experience. It's really lovely to connect with you. For those of you who are watching, if you're interested in connecting with me for a psychic session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.